Well, fuck it. Welcome, guys, to another video. I know I don't sound as enthusiastic, but this is probably gonna screw up my channel because this is the worst what if gag idea I've ever had, and I want y'all to know I'm not taking this serious even 1%. This is 100% gag, and it's just for the fun of it. It is because of my a challenge I was doing on Discord where I have you give me idea, I will do it on the spot. This is yet another what if given to me by XL Kaze XL. Link into his channel in the description. Subscribe for content that is not as bad as this. Um, Make sure to dislike this video. Yeah, well, fuck it. Let's get into this. This is what if Goku had a harem. So, we start on episode 1 of Dragon Ball, where Bulma tries to seduce Goku. But this time it is successful, and he knocks her up. Yeah, I know he's 12, don't tell me. I feel ashamed just as much as y'all do. But this is how this challenge works, so I have to do it. He knocks her up, she gets pregnant. The event of Dragon Ball goes mostly the same because only after he starts training with Master Roshi does she realize she's pregnant. By the time Goku comes back from training with Master Roshi, that went pretty much exactly to canon. It is revealed that their 2-year-old son, or 1.5-year-old son, Trunks, has been born, and Goku is dumbfounded because he didn't even know that. Okay, he knew what it was in this one, but he didn't expect it. I'm so ashamed of saying this. Like this is like seriously. Okay, so most things go to canon. He fights Demon King Piccolo. After a year has passed, he kills Demon King Piccolo. He spits out Piccolo, and his son Trunks is now 3 years old. And Bulma suggests to Goku that he starts training his son to be like him because Trunks actually looks up to his father. Kami then suggests to Goku to come up to the lookout, and after Goku was thinking he was Demon King Piccolo, Kami explains that he is Kami, guardian of Earth, and Goku says that he has to look after his child, and Kami says bring him with. So over the next 3 years, Trunks quickly grew, and by the time he was 5, he could already use ki control, and 2 years has already passed, and Goku is already as strong as he was in canon because he had to focus more to basically train Trunks along with training himself. So he did more work in the same amount of time. So Trunks and Goku had actually both learned to fly, and Goku has a power level of around 600, where Trunks had a power level of 200. Yeah, it's pretty high for a child, but whatever. Goku can fly, shoot Ki Blast, same with Trunks. He can fly, but not shoot giant Ki Blast like the Kamehameha, but he can do like minor Ki Blast like Goten and Trunks did in the original. So another year goes by, and Goku's power level starts increasing even more because him and Trunks are actually sparring now. His power level went all the way up to 800, with Trunks's going all the way up to 500. So the next World Martial Arts Championships happens, and back when Goku and Chi-Chi met the first time, and Chi-Chi asked him to marry her, um, well, Bulma didn't mind cheering, so yeah, those two also get married, and just before the tournament started, or Bulma basically talked to Chi Chi, and both of them are getting married to Goku at the same time. So Goku gets married with both of his wives and knocks up Chi Chi. So so they start living in Capsule Corp with Chi Chi being pregnant and Goku and Trunks off somewhere training. The next 3 years goes about Gohan getting older and getting of age. Gohan is now 3 and starts training with his brother and father. And while his father is off knocking on their mothers, the two boys are training together. About another year passes and Gohan has finally learned ki control. He can fly and even shoot minor ki blasts because he had more potential than Gohan had in canon because Goku had a higher power level, thus more potential, blah blah blah. So for the next year, now that Gohan is properly associated with Ki, he starts learning martial arts with the three of them training pretty hardcore because Chi-Chi actually joined in because they have a comfortable lifestyle because they live in Capsule Corp. They get whatever they need, so she's more open to training. But when school comes around, he has to study to become a scholar. Gohan has been taking notes on key control and decided one day he will write a book about it. So yeah, Chi-Chi is proud of him, blah blah blah, and all of them grow stronger together. Chi-Chi actually has a power level of around 900. Yeah, a lot. I know it's a lot. Gohan has a power level of just over 1,000. Trunks has a power level of around 2,000, and Goku a power level of 2,400. So it is about a month before Raditz shows up, and Trunks and Gohan are going to one of their annual visits with Kami and actually decide to spend a few months in the time chamber. They were gone about a few hours and spent a total of 2 months in the time chamber, actually being the first time they actually went into the time chamber altogether, and they had pushed their power levels up to around 5,000. They came out and Kami's like, they are literally like 2 times stronger, and they're like, we know. So they had backed down. Few days go by. They take Gohan to meet the rest of the Z fighters. Everyone's like, "Damn, Trunks, you grew up." And Chi-Chi and Bulma are actually both there. Yamcha's jealous that Goku knocked up Bulma because I don't know, that's him. Krillin's like, "Damn, Goku, you got strong." And yeah, Raditz shows up, finds Piccolo first. Then he's like, "Nah." He goes, he finds Goku. Goku and Trunks power up to around 5,000. Raditz shits his pants. Vegeta and Nappa get the rating and decide they're going to Earth. And Raditz says that 2 other Saiyans that are much stronger than them are probably coming now because he heard it through his scouter and says that if they don't train, they're gonna get killed. Goku, Raditz, Gohan, and Trunks all start training over the next year to make sure that they are prepared for the Saiyans, and all 3 of them actually still have their tails. So Raditz actually says that they should eventually start training to control the Ozaru form. But for the first 6 months, they focus on pure training and actually get a lot done. Gohan has actually improved much in the martial arts department, with Trunks and Raditz improving greatly in the power department along with Goku. So I'm gonna say their power levels after these 6 months are actually pretty high. I'm gonna say Goku is around 11,000, where Trunks at a close 10,000, and Raditz actually at 7,000 along with Gohan. So their power levels actually went up drastically, and Chi-Chi had even joined in a few times, pushing her power level to just over 1,000. The Z fighters at this point also start training because of late notice, and Chi-Chi decides to train with them. Yamcha obviously flirted and she smacked the complete living shit out of him because she is much stronger than he is. So, over the span of the next 5 months, everyone trains on controlling their Ozaru form. Raditz already, because the only thing stopping Raditz from controlling his form was his low power level, but because his power level increased so much, he can actually do it. And with Goku and Trunks doing this, they actually got many Zenkais from Raditz beating them down, and actually become much stronger. Trunks getting more beatings than anyone else, obviously, with Gohan in a close second in beatings. So, Goku is currently at a power level of around 15,000. Nah, I'd say he's around 12,000, with Trunks in a near 10,000, Raditz at 9,000, and Gohan at 7,000. So, what we're gonna do is, it's a few days before it starts, and they decided they're gonna go into the time chamber, but they're all gonna go at the same time. With Bulma's support, they get a few extra capsules that give them more food so they can go in. They go in for a span of about 10 months, completing the first year that Goku and Trunks had. So, at this point, everyone's power has went up insanely. Goku has a power level of around 80,000. Trunks has a power level of around 75,000. Raditz has a power level of 50,000. And Gohan has a power level of 54,000. So everyone went up immensely, and everyone can control their Ozaru form if Vegeta tries to pull something. After Vegeta arrives on Earth, him and Nappa, even the Z fighters had gotten extremely more powerful, with Piccolo being the strongest at around 14,000, and close after him, it's Tien at 12,000, and everyone else falling into line, with Chi-Chi being just above Yamcha at 9,000, Yamcha being at 7,000, and actually Krillin being at 12,000. So most of the Z fighters are pretty strong, but whatever. Roshi had also secretly started training again because he doesn't want to fall too far behind his students. So, Vegeta and Nappa arrive, and Nappa pretty much sees that these guys are more powerful than him, so he just straight up gives up. Vegeta tries to kill Nappa, but Goku and Raditz both interfere, and Vegeta gets enraged. Nappa feels touched that these two were willing to risk their lives to save him, and decide that he's gonna fight alongside them. When Vegeta throws up the Power Ball, all of them transform into great apes, having full control over themselves. Vegeta didn't expect this, so he thought he might have had the advantage, but quickly destroys the Power Ball, so they all shrink down, and he pleads for mercy. Nappa and Raditz doesn't give it to him, because he is almost as bad of a tyrant as Frieza, and they all kill him. Goku tried to stop it, but it didn't work. So, they also find out on Raditz or Nappa's non-destroyed scouter that Frieza heard about the Dragon Balls. Um, when Vegeta asked them what would happen if they got killed, they actually spilled the beans on the Dragon Balls, and Frieza is now headed for Namek. They know this and ask Bulma to help them create the gravity spaceship because she already made a gravity machine or started on it when Goku and Trunks saw so much benefit from having it, or from high gravity, so she already have the gravity chamber. She just needed two ships, which she actually got, not only Kami's ship, but also the two Saiyan pods, or the three Saiyan pods that remain. So she, with the help of Dr. Briefser, is actually pretty easily assembling it and has it up. Frieza will take about 6 months before he gets to Namek, and it's been about 3 months since that, so he still got around 6 months, and they got 6 days before they're gonna get to Namek. So they head off to Namek, obviously training in high amounts of gravity, getting all the way up to 100,000, or 100,000, fuck that, 100 times Earth's gravity. So most of most of the time they were fairly low, trying to get Nappa to catch up with them. But within the first 2 days of enhanced training and Trunks, Goku, Raditz, and Gohan all fighting with him, he eventually got his power level all the way up to 20,000. And as they progressed, even though he was the weakest between the bunch, he kept up somewhat. And when they eventually hit 100,000, all of their bodies were basically quaking in anticipation and could barely move. But all of them had massive increases on it. A lot of the about a few of the Z fighters came with. Piccolo came with because he wanted to see his people, and Krillin came with because it's Krillin. So Krillin didn't really chain, Piccolo did. Krillin would join in the lower stages, but as soon as they got to the higher stages, Krillin would just sit out. So, power levels. Goku has a power level of 400,000. Trunks is right behind him at 390,000. Behind him is Raditz and Gohan, even at 350,000, and then Nappa with 200,000. Piccolo is just above Nappa at 230,000, and Krillin is pretty behind at about 80,000. So, they land on Namek, starting to gather the Dragon Balls just in case Frieza shows up, so that they basically don't have anything. So they gather the Dragon Balls and all put it at Guru's place, and actually decide they might as well use the Dragon Ball to make sure that they are inactive as soon as Frieza gets here. They also suggest that the people on Earth gather the Earth Dragon Ball just in case they would need it, and they had a space communicator due to the scouters that Bulma was able to create. So they awaited Frieza, and in the meantime, while Guru was there, they all got power-ups because all of them were pure of heart. Obviously, a 5-time multiplier, meaning Goku was currently at 2 million, Trunks was almost at 2 million with a 1,800,000, and everyone else just 5 times their boost because I don't feel like doing stuff. So Frieza eventually shows up, and actually shows up with the Ginyu Force alongside him. Well, Goku smacks around Zarbon and Dodoria. They basically give up and know that Goku would probably be able to defeat Frieza, with the rest of the fighters handling the Ginyu Force. Captain Ginyu decides to jump to Raditz's body because that's the strongest person he sees, and then starts trying to beat Trunks, but Trunks starts beating down on him. So he then thinks that Trunks is stronger and tries to jump to Trunks' body, with Raditz obviously jumping in the way, getting his body back, and basically using a full powered attack to destroy Ginyu. So Ginyu is killed, and it's now time for Frieza. Frieza tells about how the monkeys are stupid and immediately powers up to his second form. Krillin thinks that Goku would be able to handle this and is true, but actually decides to throw a destructor disc that only cuts off Frieza's tail to mock him, and what Frieza does in return is kill Krillin. So, after Krillin is killed, what happens is Goku gets enraged, unlocking Super Saiyan, bursting out in a golden aura because his best friend got killed. So he then basically starts beating down on Frieza because of his extremely high power level, being at a power level of over 100 million plus a rage boost, getting him all the way up to 500 million, which is much stronger than Frieza was. So Goku basically beats Frieza, and Frieza doesn't even get to destroy Namek. Gohan actually requests that they stay a little because he made friends with one of the Namekians called Dende. Dende had healed all the Frieza Force soldiers there up and basically had them go back because Frieza's dead. But Zarbon and Dodoria had actually requested to train with Goku and the Saiyans because the only reason they were with Frieza is because he was the strongest being in the universe, but that is now Goku. Goku asked them why were they evil, and they're like, we're not really evil, we just want to survive. And Goku's like, I can't blame you for that reason. So he allows them to go back with them to Earth. They actually still have two wishes on the Namekian Dragon Balls, obviously being the first that they wish for Guru's youth, which means that Guru isn't dying anytime soon. Second wish they make is to bring Krillin back, and Krillin's brought back. Third wish they use is to wish themselves back to Earth. When they get back to Earth, by request of Guru, they use the Earth's Dragon Balls to relocate Namek to somewhere where Frieza can't find it, or Frieza's force, like his father, can't find it, because they do know about King Cold and he'd probably come seeking revenge. When they get back to Earth, Kami actually requests of Goku to go to King Kai's planet for more training, just in case something happens. Piccolo actually asks if he can come with, and seeing that Piccolo is a changed man, Kami lets him. Goku and Piccolo both go to the planet of the Kai and get there in mere minutes because they are much faster than they are. On Earth, Raditz, Nappa, and Gohan, all along with Trunks, all work to obtaining the Super Saiyan form. Trunks, obviously being the smartest, suggests that it has something to do with rage, and all of them have different triggers. For the next year, Piccolo and Goku train on King Kai's planet, learning the Kaioken and Spirit Bomb, and just getting generally stronger as rivals. They get about 3 months before he would get back from Yardrat. He learns of the Kai or the instant transmission. Actually, Piccolo does too. He goes back to Earth using this technique, and actually is surprised to see that the Z fighters had figured out Super Saiyan, and even Gohan and Trunks had learned to use it, along with Raditz and Nappa. Raditz and Nappa in this time had actually met people they really liked. Raditz obviously having met Launch earlier, but only now having gotten a romantic interest in her, because this is the first time he saw her blonde form, and they basically hooked up. But not so much for Nappa. He is still in the friend zone with Bulma's sister Tights, and is getting there. So what basically happens is Goku starts training his two sons and even some of the humans in the technique of Kaioken and Kai, because the instant transmission is a very useful technique, as we learn in Dragon Ball Z in the later seasons where he just basically spams instant transmission and can basically kill anyone. So, future Trunks just arrives, calling Goku to the side, telling him that he is the future son of him and Bulma, and that he was very confused when he saw Bulma pregnant, and he thought that's probably him. He came a little too late, but whatever. And he's like, I'm currently in my mother's belly, and he's like, no, you're not. You were born like 14 years ago. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, you were born 14 years ago. And he's like, no, I wasn't. And he literally calls over his trunks and is like, you're 14 now. He's like, oh, you look like me. He's like, I am you. And he's like, what? I'm from the future. Okay. So Gohan was actually in Trunks' timeline was Trunks' older brother, being born the same time he is in canon, and Trunks being born around the same time he was in canon, but both of them were the sons of Bulma. Then it turns out Gohan is the son of Chi-Chi in this timeline, and he just remarks to himself a very simple line. Well, that's why they called my father the legendary Super Saiyan and not just the Super Saiyan. But that's gonna be it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed. It was very funny. It's a gag. What if? Please don't take it like seriously. This is completely gag. It's just there for the fun of it. Thank you, Excel Kaze Excel, for this idea. It was kind of shameful and fun at the same time. But I hope everyone enjoys. Peace out.